boy that said that, I'll do okay, I'm like so detached, I'll just be watching it. You know, I'll do it.
Well, it'll end up positive. We don't know that. It's just that we're in the throes
A lot of people
now.
don't know how positive it's gonna be.
The baby has presented and it's in the process of getting born.
Yes.
And that's the most painful
Still got all
time of the birth.
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably gonna have to stand back here, so,
Oh,
fun.
yeah, did he hit the bowl and get us all?
Yes, hit the bowl and get us going, cause, yeah, I need a bowl.
Here we go.
Oh, Scott, the rest of us.
Let's all take a couple of big deep breaths. This is especially for me. I've been racing this morning trying to get here, get this set up. Take a big deep breath. Bring in the love of God into your heart. And hold it there for 5 seconds. And then release anything that isn't the love of God. Breathe in again. The love of God into your hearts. Hold it there for 5 seconds. And release. Law of threes, one more. Bring the love of God into your heart. Hold it for 5 seconds. And release anything that isn't the love of God. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, boy, I better make sure that's on the right. When you're videoing and everything else, you almost need a videographer because I moved the, oh, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to be behind this and want to have it at least showing the video. The Chinese herbs, it has kind of a funny story. My eyes were going bad. I was doing everything I could to get them to go better because I had this fogginess in front of my eyes. And it was really bugging me because it made it difficult to see through. And I came to find out it was a little bit interdimensional stuff that was fogging up, you know, my picture around my eyes, and so I was like looking that I was seeing interdimensionally, and I'd even see little critters going by, and I'd look and I'd go, what the heck was that, you know? And it wasn't even in this dimension. And so I prayed about it, and I got really strong look into Chinese herbs to help with your eyes. And when I started delving into this, it was really interesting. The Chinese used herbs to keep your vision perfect for your whole life. And they had several different things that would help this. And so as I delved into this, I got deeper and deeper. And then, you know, once you get deep into stuff, you just have to pick and choose what is going to work best for yourself. And it was really interesting. This Aqua Balance formula, it's called Zhao Zhui Li Shi. It helps promote general well-being by establishing the body's balance. And this is one that they suggested for one of the herbs. And this formulation has hawthorn berry, but they use the roots of the hawthorn. You know, different parts of the herbs do different things. Like with hawthorn, the berries are really good for the heart. The root is really good for the eyes and digestion, which is kind of an interesting thing. And it soothes indigestion and diarrhea and eases stomach and chest pain, but it also relieves anxiety. Now, anxiety causes our blood pressure to go up, like we were teaching about last night. And anxiety also puts you in fight or flight. So your cortisol levels raise up. And when cortisol is raised, vision becomes distorted because you want to pinpoint where the danger is coming from, and so it affects your eyes. And they found that this hawthorn root actually helps with the distortion in the eyes. Now the other one is salvia, which is oats, but they use the stems of oats rather than the oats themselves. And so, you know, it's quite interesting. And the salvia invigorates and nourishes the blood, soothes irritability like anxiety, and promotes circulation. So it even promotes circulation to the eye. Now, the other interesting thing they put in here was the beetle husk, and it treats abdominal fullness and bloating, aids with food stagnation. So a lot of us are getting stagnated with our food, and it's not, our peristalsis goes away because we're in fight or flight all the time, and so we either dump our digestion or it congests up. And that's kind of a bad thing when you're trying to see clearly, because when your food's stagnated, it starts rotting in your gut and produces toxins, and fungus gets in there to do your digesting instead of your enzymes and your stomach acids. And so the beetle husk is very good for getting rid of the abdominal fullness and bloating, and it aids with food stagnation and promotes gastrointestinal mobility. So it helps stimulate peristalsis, which means it's stimulating the vagus nerve. So that's a really good formulation for the eyes. Now, I couldn't transfer this, I didn't have time last night to transfer this to PowerPoint. PowerPoints are actually a little easier. Now, there's another one called Gastrodia Combo Herbal Supplement. And this helps relieve migraine headaches and general fatigue. And the ingredients are Gastrodia, Netopterygium, tuber fleece flower, angelica, quajong, magnolia, basically, magnolia vine, and they use the vine rather than the flower, and crevet, which is another herb, and kudzo, the vine of the kudzo plant. And so this is kind of an interesting formulation, and they call it the Gastrodia combo. But the herbs in this are pretty amazing. They help the brain get more circulation, they help calm the brain, and they help calm the digestive system. And we have two brains, our digestive system and all the nerves in there, and then we have our brain, which, you know, and both of them can get irritable, and we go into emotional stress, all kinds of stuff when we're not taking good care of our brain and our other brain in our digestion. But this helps calm it down and helps things flow better, so it does help the eyes, which is fascinating. Now, there's another blend called Rehmannia blend. And this one is Jin Kui Shen O Ki Wan, and or Chi Wan, however you want to say that. And this herbal supplement maintains healthy kidneys and general well-being. Now, the kidneys, believe it or not, have a lot to do with our eyesight, as the Japanese discovered, many, many years ago. They've been practicing this kind of medicine for over 6,000 years, as far as we know. We've had a lot taken out of our past, and we don't really understand our true origins. Well, a lot of us here do, but they've lied to us so much, we don't know where everything started. And we actually don't have a really good timeline. The pyramids were actually built many, many thousands of years ago, maybe even hundreds of thousands of years ago. We don't know for sure because we haven't been able to date them very well. But this particular blend has Asiatic dogwood, which supports cardiovascular system and blood health, and helps tonify the liver and kidneys. So it helps the liver do its job, and it helps the kidneys do their job. And in helping the cardiovascular system, it actually helps blood flow to everything in the body. And so dogwood is a very important part of this formula. Astragalus, which strengthens the spleen and stomach. Now, the spleen and stomach, as you can see, are a part of the earth energy over here. And so earth tonify and earth sedate also work very similar to this and have similar products in them. And when you're connected to the earth and you tonify the earth, it helps your eyesight, believe it or not. So that connection with the astragalus is very good, and it promotes blood production. Who was the gal that came in the other day who didn't have enough blood? She'd lost a lot of blood, and astragalus would be something we could
Oh,
put people
Stacy?
like that on.
Stay
Yeah,
on
Stacy.
when she had her blood drawn.
Yeah, they took out literally probably a pint of blood, just did a blood draw. They were drawing all these tubes of blood out of her. And she fainted, had some mental instability because she was so exhausted from the blood draw, and she passed out. Yeah, it was pretty bad. So astragalus would be good to help her, or this combination is really good. Now, the Rehmannia herb cools down internal heat. So it works kind of like the energy sedate in the Chinese herbs from systemic, in that it removes heat. So it's got Rehmannia in it, and it decreases blood pressure, because when you get liver heat, your blood pressure goes up. And it has anti-inflammatory qualities, and it promotes the heart, the liver, the stomach, and the kidneys. So this is a good all-around formula, and it was one of the top-ranked ones for the eyes. And so I was like, oh God, I gotta get these 3 different herbs. But then I did more delving, and there's more. Okay, there's a tea called a cleansing tea, and I did not actually get this, but it's a lemon lime flavor, but it's got botanizone, which they call BZ cleansing tea, and it's with a blend of exotic traditional herbs formulated tea, and it promotes regularity, so it moves that stagnation in your bowels that causes problems with toxins and chemicals that affect our eyes. And so this tea is actually a pretty dang good tea, and it's made with cenopods, Asian ginseng, which can be called the Uthero. Siberian ginseng is actually Uthero, but the Chinese have their own form of it, and it has a little bit different qualities. It's also got aloe vera, Damiana leaves, and it's a proprietary blend, so they don't tell you exactly what's in it, but this is a picture of it made here, and it's good for your digestive system and for the eyes. Now there's another one that is called Tian Wen Bu Jin, and it is also another one for general health. And this herbal formula is to nourish the yin aspect of the body, and it maintains a healthy heart and general well-being. So anything that helps the heart helps the eyes. It's pretty interesting how the circulation is so important, but the heart energy helps us see clearly. When our heart energy is clear, our eyes are clear. So that's why it's really important to bring love into your heart, because it actually helps the eyes. And it has several different ingredients. Ophioforgone, which I don't know what the heck that herb is, and Dong Quai, which is really good for sexual stuff as well, Polygala, and sweet flag, Poria schisandra, and it's a very nourishing blend. And a lot of these, they make them into tea, and then they dry them and make them into pellets. And so this one in particular is quite interesting. That Polygala promotes sleep, calms the spirit, which we all need, improves comprehension, and strengthens memory. So if you're having memory problems, this is a good combination. And it treats irritability, anxiety, so it helps with the getting you out of the fight or flight, the chronic sympathetic disorder, which we're all having. And it helps treat the anxiety, insomnia, and restlessness. So this is one that I should be taking every night, because at night I get woke up constantly by different things and different thoughts, different memories, different feelings. My night times, I review everything, and it's fascinating. I used to sleep pretty dang good, but then I start waking up every couple hours, and so I just pray all night long. So I have all these thoughts of people and things and anxiety and bed, and so I spend my nights up in prayer a lot, which doesn't get me a lot of sleep. And 2 nights ago was awful. Last night was good. Last night was a good night. I didn't wake up until 4 this morning, so that was good. So the Polygalia is real important. The jujube in it improves stamina and strength. It's recommended for sleeplessness and mental fatigue and physical weakness. I took this last night and actually slept pretty dang good. I took 6 of them, and I usually only take 2. So I'm glad I took 6 last night. And it helps with physical weakness, rejuvenates the body from old age or stress. Now, the Energy Tonify in the Chinese herbs from Systemics is very similar to this formulation and does everything this is talking about. The sweet flag maintains daily emotional balance. Oh boy, we're talking about emotions, this whole fall, because emotions have become such a disability disabling thing, because we've been in fear, we've been in anxiety, we've been confused by the media, by the president, by all this crap, and even our sexual orientation is getting totally confused and brought away from God, what God meant it to be. And a lot of the hormones they're giving us in our plants, in our birth control, in our food is messing with our hormones horribly. And so everybody's getting disoriented with their sexual realization, and they're not in tune with God's sexual relation for us. And so we're having, a lot of confusion, and confusion causes us to go into sympathetic dominance. And